It's time for the main event.
All right, let's get into our fighters this week on the main event. We got Big Derek Brunson versus Darren Till. All right, these guys are top 10 middleweights at 185. Darren Till is coming at 18-3-1. His opponent, Derek Brunson, the veteran, coming at 22-7 off a 4-fight win streak, which is impressive in and of itself. All right, we'll get back in. Derek coming in at 37 years old, not too up there in the fight years, but still older. 185, like I said, in the middleweight division, coming at 6'1" with a 77-inch reach. His opponent, the gorilla Darren Till, he's coming out of Liverpool, United Kingdom, fighting at 28 years old, 186 in the middleweight division, 6 foot tall, and 75-inch reach. These guys might bang, or they might not. You know, this is one of the fights that I think is pretty competitive, and there's two ways this thing can go. Zach, tell us what you think is going to happen, brother.
Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. Darren Till will kick his ass. No, seriously, on a more serious note, I would like to take the time to show you guys this nice wine that I got to drink earlier. It's a Bingham Family Vineyards Fine and Dandy from 2019. All of the sweet red grapes were grown locally in Texas, New Braunfels, Fredericksburg to be exact. But shout out to the winemakers. Give us a promo because we would love to continue to promote your product through our product, I guess. But more seriously, I think Darren Till's going to win. I might be a little bit biased here because truthfully, the more that I think about it, the more I think that he is probably one of my favorite fighters on the roster. You know, just from the skill perspective of what he's doing, the striking is so methodical in terms of the feints that he's throwing and the way that he's moving, to where he's not an early knockout kind of guy in my head, but he's a guy that sets you up and baits you in. And if you make one mistake, he's going to catch you, man. He outstruck Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Like, we're not talking about an MMA match. We're talking about a pretty much pure striking match until got the better of Stephen Thompson. Looking at the opponent, I think we obviously would say that Brunson has the wrestling advantage. So I'm just going to go ahead and save you some breath on that one. But I think Darren Till's takedown defense is pretty good. I think Brunson's head movement is below average. And I think Kevin Holland really exposed some of those holes in Brunson's game when he wasn't on his back. I don't think Brunson's going to be able to pull off the lay and pray here against Till, because I think Till's got too much in the arsenal in terms of if he does get taken down, he's going to get back up. But I think he's got a lot of interesting stuff that he's been working on to prevent the takedowns. So I'm going to pass this one over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's a few more points I want to make. Like you're saying, you know, the thing that concerns me most is the, attacking point of view for Darren Till. Darren Till hits like a fucking Mack truck for being undersized in the middleweight division. He hits hard for whatever reason. He has stone hands. I don't think he's necessarily as hard as hitter as like Yoel Romero or Adesanya or even Costa, but he still hits hard. He can put people down, even though, he hasn't necessarily done it at 185. He's definitely stunned some guys. But I think the one thing that, impressed me going back and watching Till's tape was his, fight in retrospect versus Robert Whitaker, right? I think he gave Robert Whitaker the most trouble any fighter has given Robert Whitaker since the Adesanya title fight. Even though I think Whitaker won that fight pretty handedly, the tear he's been on since, he's made guys look foolish, been absolutely just dominant. And Till gave him a lot of trouble. He hit him hard. And I think that Derek Brunson, because of how open he leaves his chin, that's going to play some issue. And just like Adesanya did to Derek Brunson back in the day before Adesanya was a champion, I think Till's going to be able to kind of replicate that success when he's coming in, trying to take him down against the fence. I think he's going to be either to land a knee or maybe an uppercut to put him out. But one thing that I liked about Darren Till going back again on him was that he wasn't taken down in that Robert Whitaker fight, even though people want to say Robert Whitaker's a striker. Robert Whitaker is also a very good wrestler, right? So he wasn't taken down to 30 seconds left in the fifth and final round, which is impressive in my book. So I'm not saying that Robert Whitaker is a better takedown artist than Derek Brunson. I think Derek Brunson is going to have the size advantage for sure. But I just think that Darren Till is going to be too fast. He's going to be chasing him around the octagon, and he's going to get desperate and try to chase a takedown, and that's when he's going to get clipped.
I think that's about as good of analysis as you could have put on this one. Excuse me.
And if
I don't
you
mean
don't
this
want
with
to come
any-
at a counterpoint to me,
I
you can say that Brunson, one of the last Brunson was against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is not known for moving around and circling like that, you know? So it'll be interesting. I think if it gets to the ground and Brunson can continue to keep Till on the ground, he's going to ink out a win. Other than that, I really think that Till is going to be able to gas him out, especially in a 5-round fight.
Look, I mean no disrespect by this to the career of Derek Brunson, to anything that, anybody has to say about Brunson, because I definitely, there's a path to victory for him. There's definitely things that he could do to get by in this one. But Till, like you said, fought Whitaker. He's fought Wonderboy. He's fought Masvidal. And he's only, I don't even think he's 30 yet. I think he's 28, 29.
28.
28. Exactly. Darren Till has gone through the ringer, and Dana White has even admitted it. We thought this kid was special. We thought he could. We thought he could do it, so we pushed him.
It's only
We
3
put him
losses.
in there, and that's what I mean. He's beating up guys that are not at his level, and I really don't mean this to wrong Derek Brunson, but that he's not on that level. Darren Till is fighting for something so much more at this point, because do I think Rob probably gets the next, title shot? Does he get his rematch? Yeah, probably. And, for the sake of fair play and due process, I kind of hope he does. But Darren Till is one of those guys that hasn't been in there with Adesanya, and Adesanya is looking for new blood. I honestly wouldn't, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him to skip Whitaker and give Till this next title shot even. That's what I just think. Till is that good. The rest of the division respects him, and he's gonna put Brunson's lights out, man.
I think it's going to be a tall order for sure, in my opinion, because if Brunson gets this to the ground, it's going to be very tough for Till to make up ground, especially earlier on the fight. If you say, Brunson comes out and gets it done the first 3 rounds, gets him down, has the ground control, then I think the fight's pretty much over unless Till puts him out. But I think Till knows this. Till knows that Brunson's, his game is now predicated on the takedown. That's why he has 3 fights in a row with victories since he changed to Henry Hoof's camp. But even before that, the Adesanya fight, Adesanya's timing and his power and knowing when he's going to shoot, if Till can, capitalize on that same game plan, obviously way easier said than done. I think Till can have an advantage.
Yeah, I think in terms of skill, Till's coming off of a broken collarbone, and you can't really discredit the impact that may or may not have on his performance. But prior to that, he was training to fight Vettori. Immediately after that, there's talks that he might be in there with the champ, so he's training as hard as he can with a bum shoulder. Then they give him Brunson. My whole point is the connection between Vettori and Brunson is that Darren Till's probably been working his takedown defense as hard as he could for 5 months now, maybe 6. Like,
since February at least, at the very minimum, he's been waiting to get taken down the octagon since at least February, because that was at April, the beginning of April, when that Vittoria
Yeah.
fight was originally scheduled.
Jack Hermanson ended up stepping into that one in April. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I you know, it's so interesting in this game when you know what an opponent's going to do and if you can stop them. So, and one thing you have to take into consideration is willpower, right?
True.
Uh, if you keep continually getting taken down and getting up, and you know you can't stop the takedowns, how much does that hurt you mentally? I know Darren Till is very strong mentally, and he's very much a troll. I think he has it. Like, I think he has it. I honestly think he has it.
There's just something about his background, being a guy who was a brawler and a street fighter, that just exemplifies that will to win that you were talking about. I literally heard a story about Darren Till getting into a bar fight and he got stabbed and was still kicking dudes' asses, beat up 4 or 5 different guys and got stabbed in the process in England. I'm not saying that that's going to happen in the UFC fight. Obviously, it's not. But I'm saying Darren Till's a tough guy. And the only 2 paths to victory for Brunson at this point really are to lay and pray and hope that Darren has no tricks in his arsenal and no capability to get up, a la Kevin Holland. Or, you land that lucky bomb. And Brunson's a pretty built dude. He's got really long arms, almost disproportionate to his body size. I noticed that today. But Brunson could get lucky. Darren Till hasn't been in there in a little while. I think there's a chance that ring rust maybe plays a factor, but I only mention that for the sake of mentioning that and bringing it to you as a potential caveat. I don't truthfully think that it's a incredibly plausible idea that will take place on Saturday by any means.
Well, on that note, enough of the analysis. Let's get into some fucking numbers, brother. All right.
Let's talk them.
So, all right. We got Darren Till coming in at minus 170. Not bad. Derek Brunson plus 155. Zach, you want to start us off on some prop bets?
I don't know, man. Till minus 170, because the odds are a little bit higher. In my head, I think that's one that you play just for the money line, but you play it a little bit heavier than some of the other stuff you have. I don't really want to touch the rounds on this one. The fight doesn't go to decision, is at almost minus 200, so I don't see a whole bunch of value in that. Till by TKO is at plus 145, and I think that makes a lot of sense, but what else? Brunson wins by decision is at plus 500. If you're going to hedge your bet and just take a piss missile into the dark, plus 500 at Brunson by decision is not a horrible bet.
No. I mean, be honest here. Plus 155 for Derek Brunson is not bad. I mean, I almost say that this should be closer to Pick'em. I know that they have, Darren Till highly rated, but if this gets to the ground, man, Brunson, I really do think that Brunson either stops him on the ground in the first 3 rounds, or Brunson takes a decision because he won the first 3 rounds,
Look, it's all possible. And that's the thing here is like, I think Till's going to win. I'm more than confident in that, but I don't count Brunson out by any means.
And this isn't a shoe-in.
No, not at all. I think Darren Till's really going to have to work for this. And I think Adesanya is going to have a real plausible argument to make Till the number 1 contender before or after Rob, based on what he does in this fight.
I also think that if you're gonna bet Till money line, I mean, it's tough to say, but plus 145 or Till by TKO is just not it for me. I don't think the odds are there for me personally to take Till wins by TKO plus 155 or 145. Even wins inside the distance at plus 125. I mean, that means he's heavy favorite to win inside distance, right?
Look, I'm almost willing to tuck tail and run the complete opposite direction of saying, maybe Till dominates this whole fight and just doesn't find the finish. Till by unanimous decision is at plus 550. Personally, I like that less than the knockout just because I feel the knockout will hit. But at plus 550 for a unanimous decision, I just hit on Jose Aldo for a unanimous decision a couple of weeks ago. It's definitely possible. It is beyond possible.
I mean, I think if you're trying to go big or go home, I think that's the bet.
Yeah,
Honestly,
maybe.
because think about it. If a game plan, this is quite possibly be a game plan for Darren Till. Win the first round. I think he can stay out on the outside, pick and poke where he wants to get the shots, not get taken down, and win the last two rounds because Derek Brunson is going to be beat. I don't think Darren Brunson his cardio is going to be there for a 5-round fight, and then bang, you got a unanimous decision. I have a hard time. I have a extremely hard time believing that Derek Brunson wins rounds 4 or 5. Now it depends if Till can capitalize one other round, which is not that much to ask.
No, I could not agree with that more if I wanted to, just in terms of we haven't seen Brunson chain wrestle in a 5-round fight in a long time. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we've ever seen Brunson go 5 full rounds. I don't think we know what he's capable of.
He was before he changed camps, he was notorious for gassing out in the first round.
No, that's what I mean. I was totally going to side with you in terms of like, we've seen Brunson's ability to chain wrestle now for 3 rounds, which, I mean, you can win 3 rounds, but if you win 3 rounds against Till and come out sloppy in the 4th, he'll end the fight. It won't be about unanimous decision. He'll KO you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you stay away from the props on this one, unless maybe you want to take a flyer on Brunson, get an early stoppage, which could definitely happen. But I just think Darren Till has too much to offer.
No, I think this is a match that, not that he was made to win necessarily, but that, it has a lot of implications for other things. And as much as maybe we don't want to see Brunson go fight Adesanya again, if he can beat Darren Till, Brunson versus Cannonier is the fight to make. I'll call it now. But that's just a bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked it up, but the final point is, Brunson took Holland down all 5 rounds and laid and prayed. So you have to take that in decision. But
Holland was no resistance, though.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. He didn't open his guard at all. It's not like Brunson is a jiu-jitsu savant in any sort of imagination. It's almost like Kevin Holland didn't try to get up either. So there was very little resistance. I don't think that Darren Till would even allow that to happen.
No, the rule for that Kevin Holland versus Brunson fight was that was where it became definitively clear to me that you cannot win a fight against a good mixed martial artist off of your back. People just don't do that anymore. And if you rely on fighting off of your back, you're probably screwed.
Yeah. All right, Zach.